Hi, and welcome to
Coffee, Glasses, and a Ponytail. Welcome to this week's episode of Coffee, Glasses, and a Ponytail. I'm Brandon. This is Molly, my daughter. This is our...
No. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice meeting you. Okay. Thought we were doing cool handshakes.
No.
Okay. So yeah, this will be our last one on Inkheart. We have finished it. We had family stuff last weekend, sicknesses, and so that's why we missed last week. But we're all good. It's Thanksgiving week, so we'll wrap it up, and then we'll have family coming to town this week. So if you want to comment,
Pay us a visit,
feel free to stop by our YouTube channel, not our home.
Oh,
Unless you have relatives, then you can come by.
I sent out like this
Oh, you sent out our address?
big, yeah.
It's not really our address. Okay. Well, it's gonna be crowded. Our 6 followers? So that's 6 more
Yeah.
people, all of them being family members. So yeah, okay. All right. So, anything you want to say before we start?
No.
No?
No.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
What?
Actually, I'm not going to say any of that yet.
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, yeah. All right. So, there's 4 chapters. So, this should be a fairly short episode. And then we'll talk about maybe what we're going to do at the end for the starting our next one. So, anyway, chapter 56 is... Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you up from a nap?
No, I'm just really tired.
Me too. I didn't sleep very well last night. My back still hurts. All right. The Shadow. So, we left off with fire being started in the village. Capricorn seeming not to care. The mom... Nobody knows where Mo's at yet. Elinor, Meggie's mom, and somebody else in the little... waiting to be killed. Is it just them? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Because
it's just them.
Dustfinger's still not around.
It's just them.
Just them, okay. Waiting to be killed, and then Meggie was getting ready to start reading out of Inkheart. Okay, so before that, they bring in the coffin thing with Inkheart, the 2 snakes. Remember the snakes that are in it? Capricorn's mom threatens Meggie that if she opens it up, or if she reads it incorrectly, that she will tell Cockerel, one of the bad guys, to slit Finiglio's throat. So, cool, mom, And as of now, I don't think anybody knows if Dustfinger's still alive, because Capricorn says he's dead, and then Mo and Farid are still out and about. We don't know where they're at, do we? Okay.
No, we don't.
All right.
They gone.
So Flatnose comes back because Capricorn sent him out to take care of the fires. Flatnose comes back and says, "Oh yeah, well now there's not just one fire; there's several fires. So maybe be concerned." And do you remember watching The Wizard of Oz? Did you ever see The Wizard? You know, because I think we watched it with you guys, but I think you were really young. So The Wizard of Oz, there's a you think it's going to be this real powerful wizard controlling all of the...
Oh, yeah, but it's not.
It's the guy behind the curtain. He's kind of fat, old, incompetent man. Yeah. That's what Capricorn reminds me of here. He's like, pay no attention to the fires raging outside and coming this way. It's all going to be okay.
Okay.
So I think he sends some more people back out to take care of the fires. And then I've as a wannabe writer, like as fantasy writer, I've written like articles, but whatever. But I've always loved the idea of the comfort of a book, the words written on a page. You go to your room, or you go to your den with a fireplace, and because like Finnegan says here to Meggie, there really is nothing better than words written on a page, as far as bringing you like comfort. And so I mean, I feel that there's nothing quite like reading a book, having a cup of coffee and reading a book in your bed. So I agree with what he says. Maybe he's taking the human element out of it or whatever, but I mean to me I really agree with him. I think there really is nothing quite like words written on a page. Agree? Disagree?
That's nice.
All right.
I disagree with that.
No? Just so you think what? You disagree? Why?
It just doesn't.
Huh?
I do a lot of other things before I read a book in my day. Like, I enjoy it, but I have like free time and it's like nice outside.
Yeah.
I like go for a bike ride or go on a jog or something.
I would probably, I mean, if you have people over to visit, that's one thing. But if it's just me, I'm either gonna read a book, watch a show.
I was gonna say, don't say go outside because you won't go outside.
I'm not an outside. I hate outside. Outside is full of bugs and wind and cold and hot. Well, it is.
If it were like a nice day, that's what I would do.
Right.
But if it weren't, I'd probably
like
watch
on
a
a
show.
cold winter day.
Probably watch a show with a fire.
All right, you're dead to me.
Okay.
Cool. So she starts reading. They've come up with some kind of signal. I think she maybe does her hand through her hair.
She does this.
Okay, and then that's a sign for Finnegan though to give a distraction.
Yeah.
To him, so they'll look at him while she can get the
dance.
note out of her dress or whatever. Her arm. Okay. So, but how crazy would it be to all of a sudden you're in a room full of 50 people.
They're outside on a football field.
But I'm just saying, if you're inside or outside, whatever, and somebody starts reading, and all of a sudden this thing just starts materializing. I don't know if it comes up out of the ground or if it just fades in. But to have the power to you see somebody reading and whatever they're reading on pages, I think that'd be really freaky. I don't know that I would enjoy that. Really.
That's nice.
And then so the creature,
Okay.
the shadow. So she brings the shadow into life. Several people disappear, drop dead, run away. But she gets to the point what Fineglio wrote for Capricorn's heart to stop beating. And she couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I could do it. Could you do it? No?
No.
Why couldn't you do it? Am I just cold?
I would feel bad.
Even for all you did? Really?
Yeah.
That's the dog.
I don't want to.
Not sure why she wants in here.
Don't know.
Because the person she loves is upstairs.
Oh, no. She's gone now.
Oh, okay. Well,
She disappeared.
yeah, she doesn't want us. She loves Mom. But even threatening, if it was threatening Mom or me or wanted to kill us, you couldn't. No, I could do that.
Maybe out of pure rage, but I would.
But
I
having
would
time
regret
to
it afterwards.
think about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, her dad did it.
Just in the moment, I'd be like, yeah, but then I would be like, no, afterwards. So.
I mean, I'd like to think I would feel bad, but I don't know that I would for somebody like Capricorn. I don't know that I would. He seemed to have very little regard for human life or for anybody or.
So if Hitler, would you have done it to Hitler?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Why not?
I wouldn't have.
Oh.
I couldn't have.
Guess you don't mind 6 million Jews being dead.
No, that's really bad.
No, but I mean, you never know till you're in the situation. But I think I could have. I think I would have, especially if he had threatened you or Mom or Cohen. I think so. So then Mo does it. Capricorn's dead. Seems like, good times. So 57, a deserted village. Capricorn is now dead. People ran away, vanished. And then, but as Meggie continues to read, because in between Capricorn dying and her starting to read again, they free Elinor and her mom. What's her mom's name? Teresa. They free them. Words are said. I don't remember. Nothing really important happens.
Not really.
But then she continues to read what Finneggio says, which is basically she's telling, because the shadow was a creature that absorbed the people that it killed, or right, and so now she's telling him to give up all those people so they can come back to life, which I thought was cool. I don't know how practical it is, but it seemed but it's a cool idea anyway. Mm-hmm. So all the people that the shadow has killed are back alive.
Yeah.
In that area. And then so all the cages are open, but the mom isn't out yet because remember Basta is in the back of the cage. Mm-hmm. So he grabs her by the neck or whatever and threatens to kill her. But he doesn't have his knife, so everybody's like, what are you gonna do? But he pushes her down into Elinor and Meggie, and then he gets away because he runs away. So there's no finality with him. We assume he just gets away. Kind of with Flatnose too. Doesn't Flatnose get away? No? Flatnose dies? No?
I don't remember. I don't think it says what happens to him.
Okay. No, him, Basta and Capricorn's mom escape. Yeah. It does say that. So they get away. And then we cut, so that's basically it for that chapter. Not much. It's kind of everybody gets out of the cages. Bad people escape. Some of the bad people die. Capricorn's dead.
Yep.
People brought back to life. At the time, I questioned where they're going to live because I don't know how many people Shadow killed, but I would assume it was quite a few trolls and fairies and people, and and we find out later what happens to them. So then, chapter 58 is homesickness, and basically this is just
Dustfinger just steals the book.
Yeah,
basically.
Dustfinger
and leaves with Farid.
Yeah, but Farid kind of has to talk himself into being able to come along. Yeah, because at first Dustfinger's like, yeah, you know what, you're kind of useless to me. I don't need you. But I don't know why. Was Dustfinger thinking that he was going to be able to find somebody to read him back into the story? Mm-hmm. Okay. Was he thinking, what's the guy's name that used to read it? Not Mo, not Meggie, but the other guy, the guy that stuttered. Darius. Was he thinking they were going to go get him? He's just going to go find somebody else that had the gift?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they go off together and evidently are in another book, right? Or all the other books? Are they in any of the other books? Farid and Dustfinger. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Are they in all the other books?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, are they in our world for all the other books, or do they find, or do you want to? Is it a spoiler?
I mean, are we gonna do the rest of the trilogy?
At some point in your mind, so don't tell me.
Okay.
They're in the other books, whether they're here or there or some other universe is to be determined at some other point.
To be determined.
I'm sorry, what?
To be determined.
Yes. So, then chapter 59, last chapter, Mo discovers the book's gone, that Dustfinger is gone, Farid's gone. I assume the little ferret thing, what the little creature?
Yeah.
Their little pet is probably with them. Because they were looking for it, but I don't know if they found it or not. I think they found
did.
it. Okay. And they all head back to Elinor's house. Kind of the happy reunion back at her house. Yay. She goes to, because her library's gone, so she then goes on missions to restock the shelves. I think it says she goes to Europe to do some shopping. Meggie and Teresa kind of get to know each other again.
Yeah.
Kind of catch up. Meggie decides that she kind of wants to be a writer, or at least creative in some way, which is kind of cool. I mean, I think at some point everybody wanted to try to be like a writer, write the great American novel, or I mean, most people. I think it's a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be better at reading the stories rather than writing the stories. But I don't know. I mean, that'd be kind of a cool. Well, I was going to say that'd be kind of a cool like thing to kind of go around on like a tour. But then I forgot that every time she brings somebody in, somebody gets swapped out. So maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't be as cool as that. It'd be cool to see, but I don't know if it'd be cool to have happen to, your date is there and gone.
Oh.
So, so she wants to become a writer. And most of the creatures stay back in the village, right? But some do come back with them to Elinor or something.
Yeah.
Like some fairies and I think some trolls too. Which.
And then they disintegrate into dust.
I don't remember that. What?
They disintegrate into dust.
The trolls?
And the fairies.
Why?
They all die.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Just at Elinor's or
everywhere?
Everywhere.
No, like just in our world.
Oh, okay.
They disintegrate and die. And
what about was there glass ones though too?
Yeah, they died
too. They all died. So that did not work out well. Did not work out.
I think it's in like the beginning of the next book, but they all died.
Oh, okay. Well, because in this book they're at Elinor's and they're kind of all hanging. Cause that's why I was like, I'm sure I would have remembered that.
No, they all died.
Okay. So, never read a book out loud because you never know who you might bring to this world and kill.
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story. So, ratings on the first book?
7 out of 10.
Out of the 3.
The middle one's the best.
The middle one's what? 8, 9, 10?
Probably 9.
A 9. What's the last one?
Probably 7.
So, okay, the middle one's okay, which is unusual. Usually that's not the case at all. I haven't read them
for a while, but from what I can remember.
Yeah. I would probably say, I thought it was a dog for a minute.
Yep.
I'd probably give it a 7, 7.5. I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed Finaglio. We don't know where he's at either, by the way.
Well, I think we find out later, but...
Well, at the end of this book, we don't know where he's at.
At the beginning of the next one, though, you find out.
So I assume the swap happened with him because the shadow came, and so he had to go somewhere, I assume. Sorry. Back's getting sort of another way. But yeah, I'd give it like a 7, 7.5.
Yeah.
So the things that annoyed me the most were just I couldn't quite place myself in the time it was in. It seemed like it was oldie times, and then it seemed like, we're in the 21st century.
Minivans and cars and guns and
it was just
cell phones too.
Yeah, and it could be because they were bringing people back from older times that kind of just cared, because it seemed like the village that they were staying in, it had electricity.
Mm-hmm.
But they were always
didn't describe it very well.
And they were always lighting candles and torches, and so that to me was I think the hardest part to kind of
The characters weren't really relatable, in my opinion.
The dad specifically, for me, was not very relatable. I had a hard time believing that a dad would do any of the things that he did. Meggie grew on me as she kind of got... She seems like she grew up a little bit. She wasn't quite as naive and kind of... But she stayed a kid, and when she didn't want to kill, that's kind of a thing you don't expect a kid to really, really do.
It was also weird how, I lost my train of thought. It left the station.
Wow.
I don't know what I was going to say.
I like my villains. I like how evil Capricorn was, just because that makes a good villain. But I wish he would have had kind of I wish he just wasn't so pure evil. Like, I wish he would have had some kind of, like, it kind of relate to, where you kind of can see maybe he would have lost his mom, but his mom was there with him. And just something to give him kind of a human side. But maybe that's not what Fineglio wanted. He wanted a pure...
The reason why he was so evil was because his dad was like that to him. So
Yeah.
he wanted to do that to other people to get revenge.
Yeah. Yeah. I just... It made it hard for me. Because if you didn't feel sympathy or pity for him at all, which is why I was like, I would have said stop breathing. I mean, because there was nothing to make you pause other than your own morals, which maybe I'm not a very moral person, I guess. Maybe killing characters in books.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing, is that he was in a book, so I guess that would make that easier, because like he's still in the book. It's not like you totally ended his life,
Right.
because he was just a character from a book.
Yeah.
So.
True. I still would probably say Fineglio, although I didn't like him at the end as much as I did in the beginning, he's probably still my favorite character. And then Meggie. And then I didn't like anybody else after that.
Farid. But he's better in the second and third books, because he's more of a character
Farid.
then.
He seemed too childlike, but I get that this is his world. I mean, he's new here.
Yeah.
But, and I did like Elinor's attitude. I didn't really like her as a character all that much, but I liked how spunky she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of you are looking for a good book to read, a little dark in places, a little darker than I thought it was going to be, but overall, it's a fun read. Mm-hmm. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
1.5 thumbs up.
What?
Well, because like 7. 7 is not 2. 10 would be 2 thumbs up. So like 1 3/4 thumbs up.
1 3/4.
Yeah, because 3/4 is almost 0.75, so right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how you do it.
Okay.
Fractions.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we are finished with that. We're not quite sure what we want to do next. If we want to do The Maze Runner, which is a book I've wanted to read, and Molly's wanted to read it.
Watership Down.
Watership Down, because it's one of Molly's favorites.
Classic.
Old Man in the Sea, which is one of my favorites. Or if we want to watch the Netflix series Sweet Tooth and do a review of that. So you'll find out when you see our next video. So
It'll probably be like, what?
Well, next week is after Thanksgiving for sure. We might do one before Christmas, maybe to tell people what we've decided. A little introduction of how many weeks it's going to be.
Yeah.
Give us time. So at that point maybe we can watch or read what we're going to do over Christmas, and then start our schedule back up for that. So there'll be one more video, maybe a short one, before Christmas to give everybody a heads up on what we're going to be doing. But until then, any last thing to leave them with? What was our email?
I have no idea.
You keep talking. You tell them a cool story.
Oh, I had this really weird dream last night. I was at a concert, and it was weird. And the main person on stage, they would like look a certain direction, and wherever that direction was, you'd have to like fall down before he looked at you. And so it was basically like a game, but at a concert. But like if he looked at you, you'd die. I was like, wow.
You would die?
You would die.
That seems...
And I was there with a bunch of friends, and we all survived. It was great.
How'd you survive?
We ducked before he could look at us. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do we know who the concert guy was?
No, I literally don't remember anything. Cohen was there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did he succumb to the death?
Wait. No, he didn't. Cohen and for some reason Garrett and Owen were there. I don't know why.
That's a little weird too.
Like it was me, Cohen, Owen, and Garrett, and we were all there, and I was like, "What? It's so weird."
Huh.
Yeah.
Did they die?
No.
So nobody you knew died?
No.
How many people were at this concert?
I don't remember. It was on like a cliffside though. It was like.
Is that how they died? They just jumped off the edges?
No, no. It was like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It didn't make any sense.
All right.
But...
Well, if you can offer any advice or therapy for Molly, you can reach us at coffeeglassesandaPonytail@proton.me. That is coffeeglassesandaPonytail@proton.me. So until a few weeks from now, thanks for watching. We appreciate all the views and likes. Hit those noties, like, subscribe, do all of the things on all of the things. All right. Till next time. Bye.